grew up in, predominantly white circles. And when I moved to Atlanta, a girl at my job said, "Hey, do you want to go to my church?" I said, "Yeah, I don't have a church. I'll go with you." And she was African American. And I walked in and there were all kinds of races at Victory. And my first thought was, oh, this isn't for me.
Mm.
And then I realized, am I a racist? I think I might be a racist. And so it was actually the first thing that God started working in my heart with. It
Mm.
wasn't that I consciously thought I don't like people of other races. It was that I was unwilling to have a meal, be friends. And I mean, at the root of that is
Yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
And so that was really the first thing that God really uprooted in my heart when I started going to Victory. And now when I walk into an environment, whether it's church, whether it's corporate, and there's all white people, it's very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But, where's the diversity?
Yeah.
And, on the opposite end of the spectrum, my husband, who was white, grew up in downtown Atlanta where he was the only white person. And
Mm.
so, we joke and say he didn't even know he was white until he was like 14, So it's just really interesting that we brought our two cultures together. And I'm so glad that that veil was lifted off my eyes in my 20s, because the richness that I've gotten to experience in other cultures and other races and the unity and the reconciliation has really been impactful in my life.
So there are those that are just blatantly racist, right? But I think for a majority of the population, they probably fall more into the camp that you're describing. So
Yeah.
what would you say to them? I think sometimes it can be so hostile,
Yeah.
the cultural dynamics. So how do you navigate that dynamic, and what would you recommend to people, in terms of like, hey, what are your own prejudices and biases, and you should consider what those are and work them out. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, I think, for me, when I was in my 20s, we didn't have social media and all of that stuff. So I got there mentally because of a lack of exposure.
Mm.
My parents didn't have friends of other races, at least that I knew of or that we were exposed to. So a lot of it was just ignorance. Nowadays, I don't know that we can use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
Because racial reconciliation is at such the forefront. But I would encourage people, get uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Get out
Yeah.
of your own circle of culture, regardless of what you are, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Get out of your own culture and get into other people's life. Invite someone of another race to dinner.
Yeah.
Invite them to your house, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I like it. And I
Yeah.
really love our neighborhood because it's very diverse. We've got a lot of people that are black and white and Hispanic and Indian families in our neighborhood. And I love how mixed we are, and how much, because just living together, I think, is a big part of it. And even our kids are their best friends, are half black, half Mexican, and we're half Mexican, half white. So it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting. So
It's so important. So
yeah.
important to expose our kids,
Yeah.
definitely.